6 months passed since the Council took control of Earth. To anyone watching, humanity looked broken. People went to work in the mines. They loaded resources onto Council ships. They stood in lines for food rations. They kept their heads down and did what they were told. The Council was satisfied. They had turned a dangerous species into obedient workers. Some Council members even felt a little sorry for humans, but not sorry enough to set them free. What the Council did not see was happening underground. In the abandoned subway tunnels beneath Seoul, Jiwon stood before a gathering of 200 people. They came from everywhere: soldiers who refused to surrender, scientists who hid before the arrests, ordinary people who had lost everything. They called themselves the Recursion because they would return again and again until Earth was free. Jiwon looked tired. She had not slept well in months. "We cannot win a normal war," she told the group. "They have more ships, better weapons, and thousands of years of experience. If we fight them directly, we lose." "Then what do we do?" someone asked. "Just accept slavery?" "No," Jiwon said. "We find another way. We make them regret ever coming to Earth." In another tunnel, Colonel Hanseok was training recruits, but he was not teaching them to be soldiers. He was teaching them to be something else. Something more desperate. He showed them Council weak points. He taught them sabotage. He prepared them to sacrifice everything for a single strike. Most importantly, he taught them not to hope. "Hope is dangerous," he told them. "Hope makes you hesitate. Hope makes you think you might survive. Let go of hope. Accept that we are already dead. Only then can we do what needs to be done." Youngsik was among the trainees. His body had healed, but his heart remained broken. His family was gone, taken to a labor camp on a world whose name he could not pronounce. He asked the Council every day for information. They ignored him. He volunteered to work harder, hoping to earn the right to see them. They laughed at him. Finally, the truth came in a data leak. A sympathetic alien worker slipped him a file. His family had died 4 months ago. Disease in the camps. No medical care. Bodies burned with hundreds of others. Not even graves. After that, Youngsik stopped asking questions. He trained harder than anyone. When Hanseok taught them about sacrifice, Youngsik understood completely. He had nothing left to lose. The most important work was happening in a secret laboratory. Dr. Minji worked with a small team of physicists, barely sleeping, barely eating. They studied captured Council technology, taking apart drives and weapons, learning secrets that took other species thousands of years to discover. Minji found something the Council had hidden. All their ships used basic propulsion drives. But buried in their computer systems was data about something else: quantum displacement drives. Technology that could move a ship instantly across space. Technology that could change everything. She brought her discovery to Jiwon. "This is what they keep from younger species," Minji explained. "This is why the Council stays in power. They can move anywhere instantly while everyone else crawls through space." Can we build it?" Jiwon asked. "Yes, but there is more." Minji's hands shook as she pulled up more data. "I found out why they hide this technology. It can be weaponized. A ship with quantum displacement can appear anywhere, inside a planet's atmosphere, inside a space station. And when the drive activates in reverse, it does not move the ship, it moves everything around it." Jiwon understood. It erases things. It displaces matter across space and time. The target does not explode. It just stops existing, scattered across the universe, one atom at a time. Minji looked sick. The Council discovered this 10,000 years ago. They agreed to never use it. The entire galactic peace depends on not using this weapon. If any species had it, they could erase another species completely. How many people know about this? Only the highest Council members. They guard this secret above all others. Their entire civilization is built on mutually assured survival. No one destroys anyone because no one wants to be destroyed. Jiwon sat down. Her mind raced with possibilities. "You are saying we could build a weapon that erases entire planets?" "Yes. And they would have no defense. None." "How long would it take?" Minji hesitated. 3 months to build the first prototype. 6 months to build enough for a real attack. But Jiwon, if we use this, we become mass murderers. We would kill billions. Maybe trillions. They killed millions of us in minutes, Jiwon said quietly. They took our freedom, our families, our future. What do they expect us to do? I do not know, but this weapon, it changes everything. Once we use it, there is no going back. The galaxy will never be the same. Jiwon stood up. Show the council what we found. Send them a message. Tell them we know about quantum displacement. Tell them to free Earth, or we will use it. Minji sent the message from a hidden transmitter in Busan. She made it anonymous, impossible to trace. The message was simple. We know your secret. We know about quantum displacement. Release Earth within 30 days, or face consequences you cannot imagine. The council's response came within hours. Not words. Actions. Orbital bombardment turned Busan into burning ruins. 800,000 people died. Council ships broadcast a message on all frequencies. This is the consequence of threatening the council. There will be no negotiations. There will be no mercy for terrorists. When Jiwon heard the news, she did not cry. She did not scream. She simply called a meeting of the recursion. Every member came. They gathered in the largest tunnel, their faces lit by emergency lights. They answered us with murder, Jiwon said. They killed 800,000 people for one message. This is who they are. This is what they think of us. They believe we are insects to be crushed. She paused. Dr. Minji has shown us a weapon. A terrible weapon. If we build it, we become capable of destroying entire civilizations. If we use it, billions will die. Innocent people, children, families, species that had nothing to do with enslaving us. But if we do nothing, we remain slaves. Our children will be slaves. Our grandchildren will be slaves. We will be forgotten, a species that died on its knees. She looked around the room. I am not going to order anyone to help build this weapon. This is a choice each of you must make. If you want to walk away now. No one will judge you. But if you stay, understand what we are doing. We are building something that might end the galaxy as we know it. Nobody left. Not one person. Young-sik stood up. My family is dead. 800,000 more died today. How many more will die tomorrow? Next week? Next year? The council thinks we will accept this forever. Let's show them what happens when you break a species instead of killing it. Others voiced agreement. Scientists, soldiers, ordinary people. They all chose the same thing. They chose fury. Over the next 3 months, Earth went completely silent. All transmissions stopped. No signals, no messages, no communication with the council at all. The occupation forces sent reports saying humans were behaving perfectly, working hard. No resistance at all. The council believed Earth had finally accepted its place. They reduced the military presence. They started planning to use Earth as a model for controlling other aggressive species. They had no idea what was really happening. In hidden shipyards beneath Earth's oceans, humans built vessels like nothing they had made before. Small ships, barely bigger than fighters. But each one carried Minji's quantum displacement drive. Each one was a weapon that could erase worlds. In the training facilities, pilots volunteered knowing the truth. The quantum drives required something terrible. To navigate through quantum space, the pilot's consciousness had to fragment. They would experience every possible timeline at once. Most would go insane within hours, but they volunteered anyway. Han-sok was the first. When they asked him why, he said, I have already seen my world die. What is seeing 1,000 more? On the surface, humans continued to obey. They loaded ships. They mined resources. They bowed to council overseers. But in the darkness, they built an apocalypse. Captain Jiwon stood in the Grand Assembly Hall of Terminus 7, her hands clasped behind her back. The hall was massive, bigger than anything humans had built before. Lights from 1,000 different worlds filled the space with colors she had no names for. Around her, Representatives from 847 species waited in silence. Today was the day. 30 years after Earth joined the Galactic Council, humanity would finally vote for full freedom, the right to control their own borders, the right to build their own military without limits, the right to keep their own resources. Jiwan felt confident. Earth had followed every rule. Humans had proven themselves peaceful. They had shared their technology. They had helped other species with problems. Surely the Council would see that humans deserved to be free. The vote began. One by one, species cast their decision. The display board showed the results in real time. Jiwan watched as the numbers climbed. Her confidence started to fade. Every single species voted the same way. Against Earth, against freedom. 847 votes. Every single one said no. Jiwan felt her stomach drop. She looked around the hall, searching for even one friendly face. There was none. The alien representatives looked at her with cold eyes. Some seemed amused. Others looked bored, as if this decision meant nothing to them. The council speaker stepped forward. It was a tall creature with gray skin and too many arms. Its voice echoed through the hall. The vote is complete. Earth will remain under probationary status. This is for the good of the galaxy. Jiwan found her voice. Why? We have done everything you asked. We have been peaceful. We have followed every law. The speaker tilted its head. That is exactly why this vote was necessary. You needed to understand the truth. Earth was never meant to be free. You were integrated into the council to be controlled. Your species breeds too quickly. You consume too many resources. Your emotions make you unstable. Most importantly, your planet is too valuable to leave in your hands. The words hit Jiwan like physical blows. You mean, this was planned from the beginning? Another representative stood up. It looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. Of course. We saw your transmissions into space. We knew Earth was rich in rare minerals. We knew humans would be useful workers. So we came with promises of friendship. You believed us so easily. Laughter filled the hall. Not all species joined in, but enough did. Jiwan felt rage building inside her chest. 30 years. 30 years of lies. This is slavery, she said quietly. The speaker nodded. Call it what you wish. By tomorrow, new rules will be in place. Earth will provide 40% of all resources to the Council. Humans will work in our mines and build our stations. Your military will be dissolved. You will need permits to leave your solar system, and your population will be controlled. Jiwan's hand moved to her weapon, but it was already gone. Council security had taken it before she entered the hall. She stood there, helpless, as the representatives began to leave. The meeting was over. Earth's fate was sealed. She rushed back to her ship. Her crew looked at her with hopeful faces. She shook her head, and their hope died. Within minutes, she was transmitting an emergency message to Earth. But even as she sent the warning, she saw them coming. Council warships. Hundreds of them. They had been waiting hidden just outside sensor range. They moved toward Earth like sharks closing in on prey. Jiwan pushed her ship's engines to maximum. She had to get home. She had to warn people. But she was too late. By the time her ship reached Earth's orbit, the invasion had already begun. 3 cities were burning. Jakarta, Lagos, and Mexico City. Orbital bombardment had turned them into craters. The death toll numbers scrolled across her screen. 2.4 million people, dead in minutes. The Council's message was clear. Resistance would be met with death. Colonel Hansok's voice came through on the military channel. All Defense Force units, this is Hansok. We are under attack. I repeat, we are under attack. Fire at will. Jiwan watched as Earth's military tried to fight back. Their ships were old, their weapons weak compared to Council technology. It was like watching children fight adults. One by one, Earth's defenders were destroyed or captured. The battle lasted less than an hour. Council enforcers landed in every major city. They came with lists, names of leaders, scientists, military officers, anyone who might organize resistance. They were arrested and taken to ships. Nobody knew where they went. On the ground, a factory worker named Youngsik watched soldiers drag his family toward a transport ship. His wife, his daughter, his elderly parents, they were crying, reaching for him. The soldiers said they were being taken to a labor camp on some distant world. Youngsik ran forward. He threw himself at the soldiers, fists flying. He was not trained. He was not strong, but he fought anyway. He landed a few hits before they beat him down. Battens cracked against his skull. His ribs broke. Blood filled his mouth. As he lay on the ground, bleeding and broken, someone recorded it. A young girl with a phone hiding behind a car. She caught everything. The soldiers dragging away Youngsik's screaming family. Youngsik trying to crawl after them. His final words before he passed out, "We will remember, and they will regret." The video spread like fire across Earth's networks. Before the council could shut it down, millions had seen it. Then billions. People watched a helpless man fight for his family. They watched him lose. And something changed in humanity's heart. Earth's governments had no choice. They surrendered. The president of the United Earth Council appeared on every screen, his face showing defeat. "We have no power to resist. For the survival of our species, we must accept council rule. Please do not fight. Do not resist. It will only bring more death." But in basements and bunkers and hidden rooms and secret places, humans began to gather. They did not accept. They would not bow. Not forever. Jiwan sat in her ship, watching her world fall to tyranny. Dr. Minji, the quantum physicist, sent her a coded message. 3 words only. "I found something." Colonel Hansock transmitted from a hidden location. "Some of us got away. We took weapons. We took data. We are not done." And in a hospital in Seoul, Youngsik woke up from surgery. His body was broken but healing. When the doctor asked him how he felt, he said only one thing: "When can I fight again?" The council believed Earth was defeated. They posted guards and established control. They began taking resources and people. They thought the problem was solved. They were wrong. In the darkness beneath the cities, in the quiet spaces between council patrols, humanity began to plan. Not for resistance, not for freedom, for something much worse, for revenge. Nexus Prime was the heart of the Galactic Council, a massive station that held 40 billion beings from across the galaxy. It was the oldest structure in known space, built over 10,000 years. Council leaders lived there, their families, their history. Every important decision in galactic history was made there. On a Tuesday morning, Nexus Prime simply vanished. No explosion. No warning, no debris. One moment it existed, and the next moment there was only empty space. 40 billion beings gone. Just gone. A small buoy appeared where the station had been. It broadcast a message in every known language. 1 down. 846 to go. Release Earth, or your civilizations will be erased one world at a time. Panic spread across the galaxy faster than light. Council representatives who had been away from Nexus Prime during the attack scrambled to understand what happened. Their scientists studied the area. They found nothing. No radiation. No energy signature. No trace that Nexus Prime had ever existed. It was as if 40 billion people had been erased from reality. Within 2 days, more attacks came. The Vreskani homeworld, population 12 billion. There one moment, gone the next. The Thermian colony clusters, 30 worlds holding 80 billion beings, vanished. The ancient Pelthori archives containing 50,000 years of recorded history, erased. Still no one saw the attackers. No one detected them coming. No battles. No chance to fight back or surrender. Just sudden absolute absence. Council fleets mobilized. They put every world on high alert. They deployed sensor networks across entire systems. They waited for the enemy to appear. The attacks continued. Not every day, but randomly. A research station here. A colony world there. A mining operation. A cultural center. Always different targets. Always the same result. Complete erasure. Fear turned to terror. Species that had lived in peace for thousands of years now watched their worlds disappear. Refugees fled by the billions, not knowing where was safe. The galactic economy collapsed as trade routes became too dangerous to use. Some species tried to negotiate with Earth. They sent messages. "We did not agree with your enslavement. Please spare us." But how could Earth know which species truly opposed the vote and which were just trying to save themselves? The attacks continued. On Earth, Jiwan commanded the operation from her underground bunker. She slept 3 hours a night. The rest of the time she watched reports of their strikes. Every attack showed the same thing. A pilot appearing in quantum space above a target, activating the weapon, then jumping away before anyone could respond. The pilots themselves were changing. Hanseok was the first to show symptoms. When he returned from his third mission, he spoke in strange ways. Did I already come back? Am I about to leave? Will I return yesterday? His mind existed in multiple timelines at once. Past, present, and future blended together. Other pilots followed the same path. Some went completely mad, lost in infinite timelines. Others maintained enough sanity to continue flying missions, but they were no longer fully human. They had become something else. Something broken. Minji visited the pilot quarters. She watched Hanseok stare at walls, seeing things no one else could see. I am sorry, she told him. I did not know this would happen to you. Hanseok looked at her, and for a moment his eyes focused. You gave me purpose. Before this, I was just a soldier who failed to protect his world. Now I am a weapon that makes them pay. Do not apologize for that. The council finally tracked one of the attacks. They saw a human ship appear, watched it activate the quantum weapon, then disappear. They analyzed the energy signature. Their scientists confirmed what they feared. Earth had weaponized quantum displacement. The council held an emergency session. Only 300 species remained after the attacks. The rest were dead or had fled beyond contact. They debated what to do. Some argued for immediate destruction of Earth. End this now before they erase us all. Others disagreed. If we attack Earth, they will destroy everything out of spite. They have nothing left to lose. A military commander stood up. Gather every warship we have. 10,000 vessels. Enough firepower to crack a planet. We go to Earth and we end this. The vote passed. Within a week, the largest military fleet in galactic history assembled. 10,000 warships carrying weapons that could destroy worlds. Their orders were simple. Jump to Earth's solar system and destroy the planet completely. Wipe out humanity before they erased anyone else. The fleet entered Earth's solar system expecting a fight. What they found was a trap. Earth's defenders had known they were coming. Minji's quantum sensors detected the fleet forming long before it moved. Humans had spent months turning their entire solar system into a weapon. The asteroid belt had been hollowed out. Every rock now held launch platforms. Jupiter's moons housed quantum displacement batteries ready to fire. Mars had been evacuated and rigged with explosives large enough to destroy the fleet if they got too close. Young-Sik commanded one of the defense squadrons. He watched the council fleet approach on his displays. 10,000 ships. He had 50. On paper, it was suicide to fight, but paper did not account for quantum weapons. All units, Young-Sik transmitted.
Fire at will. Human ships appeared inside council vessels.
Not near them. Inside them. The quantum drives let them materialize in the middle of enemy ships. They activated the displacement weapons at point-blank range. Council ships started vanishing, not exploding, just ceasing to exist. 10 ships, 100, 1,000. The council fleet tried to respond but could not find targets. Human ships were there 1 second, gone the next, appearing somewhere else entirely. The asteroid belt launched missiles by the millions. They were old weapons, nothing special. But they came from every direction at once. Council ships had to choose, chase the quantum vessels or defend against missiles. They could not do both. Jupiter's moons fired their batteries. Massive quantum pulses swept through space, displacing sections of council ships. A warship would be flying normally, then half of it would simply vanish. The other half would tumble through space, leaking atmosphere and bodies. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it ended, the council fleet was gone. Not defeated, not retreating, gone. 10,000 warships erased from existence. Young-Sik's ship had taken damage, but he survived. He looked at the empty space where the enemy had been. His hands shook. He had just helped kill millions of beings, soldiers who probably did not even know why they were fighting, crews who had families waiting at home. But then he remembered his own family. Dead in a labor camp because the council saw humans as tools, not people. He remembered Busan. 800,000 dead for sending one message. He remembered every human taken in the night, every city bombed, every freedom stolen. His hands stopped shaking. Jiwon broadcast from Earth to the entire galaxy. Her voice was cold and clear. You came to destroy us. You failed. This is what happens when you try to chain a species that refuses to die. We told you to release Earth. You answered with genocide. Now you get the same treatment. We will not stop. Every day another world, another station, another piece of your precious civilization erased. You can surrender, or you can watch your entire galaxy disappear. Your choice. In council chambers, the survivors realized the truth. They could not win. Every engagement was a guaranteed loss. Human ships were suicide weapons, and humans did not care about dying anymore. They only cared about taking the council with them. The remaining council members argued for days. Some wanted to surrender immediately. Others refused, saying it would shame their ancestors. A few suggested biological weapons, ways to kill all humans at once. But even if they destroyed Earth, the quantum ships were already out there. Pilots who might continue attacks for months or years, erasing world after world until nothing remained. One representative, a small creature that looked like a floating ball of light, finally said what everyone was thinking. We cannot defeat them. We can only destroy each other. They have forced us into mutual suicide. Another attack came, then another. The galaxy watched helplessly as civilizations that had stood for thousands of years simply disappeared. Some species tried to hide, turning off all broadcasts and going dark. It did not help. The human ships found them anyway. On Earth, not everyone was happy. Some humans protested. We have become the monsters we hated, they said. How many innocents have we killed? Others argued back. They made us monsters. They had a choice to free us. They chose to kill us instead. This is on them. Ji-won stood between both sides, torn apart. Every night she reviewed casualty numbers. 400 billion beings dead, more than every human war in history combined. She had started this believing in justice. Now she did not know what to believe anymore. The galaxy was dying, and Earth's fury showed no signs of stopping. 4 months into the war, 200 worlds had been erased. 400 billion beings simply gone from existence, entire species extinct, civilizations that had lasted thousands of years reduced to nothing but memories. The galaxy was falling apart. Refugees fled in massive ships searching for somewhere safe. But nowhere was safe. Human quantum vessels appeared without warning. Any world could be next. The unpredictability made the terror worse. The council no longer functioned as a government. Half its members were dead. The other half could not agree on anything. Some species withdrew completely, taking their ships and people and disappearing into deep space. Others formed small alliances trying to protect themselves. Trade stopped. Without trade, planets that depended on food imports began to starve. Medical supplies ran out. Technology broke down without replacement parts. The galactic economy, built over 10,000 years, collapsed in less than 4 months. On Earth, Ji-won walked through the quantum pilot facility. Of the original 200 volunteers, only 40 remained sane enough to fly. The others existed in fractured states, their minds lost across timelines. They sat in rooms talking to people who were not there, responding to questions no one asked. One pilot, a woman named Hyejin, looked at Ji-won and smiled. Hello, goodbye, you're about to arrive. You already left. Time is a circle and I am standing in the center watching it spin. Ji-won felt sick. These people had sacrificed their sanity for Earth, and she had let them do it. She found Dr. Minji in the laboratory. The scientist had not slept in 3 days. She stared at casualty reports, her face blank. We have killed more beings in 4 months than died in all of human history's wars combined, Minji said quietly. Every war, every genocide, every plague, all of it together does not equal what we have done. They started this, Ji-won said, but her voice lacked conviction. Did they? Or did the council leadership start it? And we punished billions of innocent beings for what their government did? Minji turned to face her. There were children on those worlds. Babies, people who never voted to enslave us. People who maybe even disagreed with what happened to Earth. We killed them all anyway. What else could we do? Let Earth stay enslaved? I do not know, but I know this. We have become exactly what they said we were. Dangerous, emotional, unstable. We have proven them right. Ji-won had no answer. She left the laboratory and walked to the command center. There she found the recursion split in half. 2 groups arguing, shouting at each other. Young-Sik led one group. We stop when every council world is ash. They showed us no mercy. My family died in their camps. 800,000 died in Busan. Millions died when they invaded. Why should we stop now? A woman named Terry led the other side. Because we are becoming worse than them. We have made our point. They know they cannot defeat us. If we continue, we are not fighting for freedom anymore. We are just murderers on a galactic scale. They made us murderers, Youngsik shouted back. We did not choose this. They did when they put chains on Earth. And now we choose to keep killing? When does it end? When the last alien is dead? When the galaxy is empty? Ji-won stepped between them. Enough. Both of you stop. The room went quiet. Everyone looked at her. She realized they wanted her to make the decision. She was the leader. Whatever she chose, they would follow. But what was the right choice? Continue the war until the council was completely destroyed, or stop now and risk everything they had fought for? Before she could speak, an alert sounded. A ship was approaching Earth, a single small vessel broadcasting a white flag. A request to talk. Ji-won went to the surface. It felt strange to see the sky after months underground. The ship landed in an empty field outside Seoul. The door opened and a human stepped out. Ji-won recognized her. Ambassador So-hee, one of the humans who had lived with the council before the war. She had been at the vote that day. She had argued against enslaving Earth, but she had been overruled. Thank you for not shooting me down, So-hee said. I considered it, Ji-won replied. What do you want? To offer you everything you asked for. Complete sovereignty for Earth, full independence. All council forces withdraw from your system. All human prisoners released. All demands met. Ji-won felt her heart skip. Why now? After all this? Because you have destroyed 200 worlds. Because the galaxy is collapsing. Because if this continues for another month, there will be nothing left to save. So-hee looked tired. The council admits defeat. You have won. There is always a catch. Yes, the council wants the quantum displacement technology, not to use against you, to defend against it, to ensure no one, including humans, can ever use it again. Ji-won laughed bitterly. You want the weapon that is killing you? So you can use it on someone else later? No, so we can develop defenses against it. So we can create detection systems. So we can make sure this never happens again. So he stepped closer. Ji-won, I know you do not trust the council. I do not blame you. But think about this. If you give them the technology and they betray you, at least it will only be Earth that suffers. If you refuse and continue the war, the entire galaxy dies. Both choices are terrible. But one kills billions more. Ji-won wanted to refuse immediately, but she thought about what Minji had said. About the 400 billion dead. About the children who had done nothing wrong. I need to think about this, she said. You have 3 days. After that, some species will start using biological weapons against Earth. They figure if they are going to die anyway, they might as well take you with them. So he got back in her ship and left. Ji-won stood in the field watching the sky. 3 days to make a decision that would determine humanity's future. She called a full meeting of the recursion. Everyone came. Scientists, soldiers, ordinary people. She explained the offer. Then she let them debate. The arguments went on for hours. Some said it was a trap. Others said it was their only chance for real peace. Some wanted revenge for everything the council had done. Others wanted the killing to stop. Finally, Hansuk spoke. He rarely talked anymore, his mind too fractured by quantum exposure. But in a moment of clarity, he said, I have seen the timelines. In most of them, we all die. Earth dies. The council dies. The galaxy becomes empty. But there are a few timelines. Just a few where we find another way, where we choose something different. Which path do we take? Someone asked. I cannot see that far. The timelines split too many ways. But I can tell you this. The path we are on now leads to nothing but death. Ji-won made the decision. We will accept the council's offer, but with conditions. They release all prisoners first. They remove all military presence from our solar system. They give us 5 permanent seats on the council with veto power. And they agree to a new law. No species can ever be enslaved again, ever. And if they refuse? Terry asked. Then we continue the war. But we give them a chance to be better than they were. Youngsik stood up. Everyone went quiet, waiting to see what he would do. He had lost more than anyone. His family was dead. His city was destroyed. If anyone had the right to demand revenge, it was him. He walked to the front of the room. Slowly, he pulled out a data card. Ji-won recognized it. Override codes for the quantum weapons. With those codes, someone could launch every weapon at once. 2,000 worlds erased in an instant. My family is dead, Youngsik said. Nothing will bring them back. Not revenge. Not justice, nothing. His voice cracked. Before the soldiers took them, my daughter looked at me. She said, "Be better than them, Dad." She was 8 years old and she understood something I forgot. He held up the data card. This could kill trillions. It could erase civilizations. It could make them suffer like we suffered. He closed his fist around it, but it would also prove the Council right. That we are dangerous, that we cannot control ourselves, that we deserve to be caged. He opened his hand. The data card fell to the floor. He crushed it under his boot. I will not prove them right. I will not become the monster they said I was. He looked at Jiwon. Tell the Council we accept. But if they betray us, if they hurt one human after this, then we finish what we started. No mercy, no survivors. They get one chance. Just one. The room erupted in discussion. Some agreed. Others protested. But slowly most came around. They were tired. Tired of killing, tired of fear, tired of being monsters. Jiwon sent the message to Sohee. We accept your terms, plus our conditions. You have 48 hours to begin releasing prisoners and withdrawing forces. If you meet the deadline, we stop all attacks. If you miss it, the war continues until nothing remains. The galaxy held its breath and waited. The first prisoner transport ships arrived at Earth 36 hours after Jiwon sent the message. They came in groups, hundreds of vessels carrying humans who had been taken away during the occupation. Some had been gone for 6 months, others for years before the war even started. Young-sik stood at the landing site outside Seoul. He watched ship after ship touch down. Families reunited around him, people crying, hugging, celebrating. He scanned every face that came down the ramps, hoping against hope. His family was not there. He already knew they would not be. The data leak had told him they were dead, but some part of him still hoped the data was wrong, that maybe somehow they had survived. After the last ship landed and the last passenger walked out, Young-sik stood alone in the empty field. A council official approached him nervously. Sir, we have records showing your family was assigned to mining colony Epsilon 7. The colony experienced a disease outbreak 8 months ago. We could not provide medical support in time. I am sorry for your loss. Young-sik said nothing. The official left. Young-sik stood there as the sun set, watching the sky turn red and purple. He thought about his daughter, about her last words to him. Be better than them, Dad. He had kept his promise. He destroyed the override codes instead of using them. He chose mercy over revenge. But mercy hurt more than he expected. Revenge would have felt better, at least for a moment. Over the next 6 months, the Council kept their promises. Every human prisoner came home. Council military forces withdrew from Earth's solar system completely. The Council was reorganized, giving Earth 5 permanent seats with veto power over any major decision. Most importantly, the Council passed new laws. No species could be enslaved. No species could be forced into probationary status. Every member had full sovereignty or they were not members at all. Any species that tried to control another would be expelled and sanctioned. Dr. Minji shared the quantum displacement technology with the Council. But she only shared the propulsion version, not the weaponized version. The Council scientists studied it and began developing detection systems. They also started working on defenses, ways to block quantum displacement. Will it work? Jiwon asked Minji. Eventually, maybe in 10 years, they will have reliable defenses. Until then, they have to trust that we will not attack again. Will we? Minji looked at her carefully. That depends on them, does not it? If they honor the peace, we have no reason to fight. If they betray us, she did not finish the sentence. She did not need to. The galaxy began to rebuild. It was slow and painful. 200 worlds had been erased. 400 billion beings dead. Entire species extinct. The loss was unimaginable. Earth surprised everyone by leading the reconstruction efforts. Jiwon proposed creating memorial worlds, reconstructed planets dedicated to the species that had been destroyed. Humans volunteered to maintain these worlds, keeping alive the history and culture of civilizations they had erased. It was not justice. Nothing could bring back the dead. But it was something. An acknowledgement. An apology written in action instead of words. Young-sik volunteered to work on the Vreskani Memorial World. The Vreskani had been the first species erased after Nexus Prime. 12 billion people, gone in an instant. Young-sik spent his days learning their history, their art, their philosophy. He taught visitors about who the Vreskani had been, ensuring they would not be forgotten. One day, a young Vreskani approached him, one of the few thousand survivors who had been off-world when their planet was destroyed. "You killed my people," the young alien said. "You personally flew missions that erased worlds." Youngsik did not deny it. "Yes, why? What did we do to you? Your government voted to enslave Earth. Your leaders supported our oppression. Your people benefited from our forced labor. I was a child. I never voted for anything. I never hurt any human. But you killed my family anyway." Youngsik had no defense. "You are right. I killed innocents. I told myself it was necessary, that it was war, that your leaders left us no choice. But in the end, I still pressed the button that erased your world. I am sorry. I know that does not help. I know it does not bring anyone back. But I'm sorry." The young Vreskani stood there shaking. "I should hate you. I want to hate you. But I see you here every day teaching people about my culture. You could be anywhere, doing anything. But you chose to spend your life remembering the people you killed. Why? Because my daughter told me to be better than the people who hurt us. This is me trying to be better. I am probably failing, but I am trying." The Vreskani was quiet for a long time. Finally, they said, "My name is Kelvin. Teach me about my people." I was too young to remember much before the war. They spent the afternoon together. Youngsik shared everything he had learned about Vreskani culture. Kelvin corrected him on some details, shared family stories, added context Youngsik could never have known. By the end, they were not friends, but they were not enemies either. They were just two people trying to make sense of senseless tragedy. Colonel Hansuk never recovered from the quantum exposure. His mind remained fractured across timelines, unable to focus on a single present moment. But Minji discovered that his condition had an unexpected benefit. He could sense threats before they happened, perceiving possible futures before they occurred. Earth made him a guardian. He lived in a special facility where scientists monitored his visions. When he saw danger coming, he would report it. His warnings saved lives dozens of times. It was not the life he had chosen, but it was a purpose. "Do you regret it?" Jiwan asked him once. "What you sacrificed?" Hansok's eyes focused briefly. "I already regret it. I will regret it. I am about to regret it, but I would also do it again. Will do it again. Have already done it again. Time is funny that way." Jiwan herself stepped away from leadership. She could not continue. The weight of 400 billion deaths crushed her. She had nightmares every night. Faces she had never seen. People she had killed without ever meeting them. She spent her days talking with survivors, both human and alien, listening to their stories, their losses, their pain. She could not fix what she had broken, but she could witness it. She could carry the memory of what the war had cost. 20 years after the war ended, the galaxy looked different. The council was more democratic, more accountable. Species had real power over their own futures. The threat of enslavement was gone, but the scars remained. Every species now knew what humanity was capable of. They knew that if pushed too far, humans would choose mutual destruction over submission. It made humans respected. It also made them feared. A new species called the Kelthani applied to join the council. In their application, they made demands. They wanted special treatment. They threatened war if they did not get it. The council denied their application immediately. Ambassador Sohi, now the council's diplomatic leader, contacted the Kelthani directly. She showed them records of the war, videos of worlds being erased, images of the memorial worlds, testimonies from survivors. "You see this?" Sohi told them. "This is what happens when a species is pushed too far." The council learned this lesson. We all learned it. Every civilization in this galaxy understands now that there are fates worse than death. There are peoples desperate enough to inflict them. "Are you sure you want to find out what happens if you threaten us again?" She paused. "Because I can promise you something. Humanity learned to be better. We learned to be peaceful. We learned to forgive. But we did not forget how to be worse. We kept that knowledge. We kept those weapons. Hidden, yes. Locked away, yes. But ready. Always ready. Just in case someone makes the same mistake the old council made." The Kelthani withdrew their application. They never made demands again. Jiwan was old now. She sat in her small apartment in Seoul, looking out at the rebuilt city. Busan had been rebuilt too, though it would never be the same. None of them would be the same. A young human visited her, a student writing about the war. Do you regret it? The student asked. The war. What you did? Jiwan thought about the question. She had thought about it every day for 20 years. Every single day, she said honestly. But I regret what forced us to that point more. We became monsters to stop being treated as animals. I hope humanity never has to make that choice again. Do you think we will? I hope not. But the weapons still exist, hidden in secret facilities, maintained by volunteers who remember why we built them. They will stay there ready just in case. Because the galaxy needs to know that we can be peaceful. But if forced, we will respond. That sounds like a threat. No, it is a promise. We will never be enslaved again. And the galaxy knows better than to try. The student left. Jiwon sat alone looking at the sky. Ships passed overhead, human and alien vessels flying together, trading, cooperating, living in peace. But beneath the surface, in hidden bunkers and secret facilities, the quantum weapons waited. Silent, ready, a reminder of what desperation looks like. 300 years later, historians still debate the Earth Wars. Some call it justified resistance. Others call it galactic terrorism. Most agree it was both. But one fact remains undisputed. After the war, no species was ever enslaved again. The concept became unthinkable. The risk too great. Earth did not just win freedom for themselves. They won it for every species in the galaxy. The price was 400 billion lives.